In today's episode, we're going to be pulling and resetting a toilet that's got a bad wax ring. First things first, you want to start off with an empty toilet. Go ahead and remove the mounting hardware, and then you can set it to the side while you examine your old flange and wax ring. At this point, you're going to determine why it was leaking and then go for a permanent solution. So I noticed the toilet was rocking before I even started. The toilet could be rocking because the flooring is uneven and it needs shims, or it could be rocking with the flange. If the flange isn't secured to the floor, it's going to move around. So we're going to go ahead and pre-drill some holes for some concrete anchors. I'm using Tapcon. I believe they're stainless steel with a blue coating for exterior. So I think these are plenty durable for what we're using them for. You could also use a solid stainless steel Tapcon if that's what you prefer. A lot of times when you pull a toilet that's leaking, you're going to find a low flange because the flooring guys come in and raise up the flooring about 3/4 of an inch without touching the flange. And sometimes they'll double wax it, or sometimes they just will set the toilet down there with a single wax and it'll leak all over the place. So you're going to want to remedy that with a flange spacer. I like the OD Set Right flange spacer kit, or there's a number of other ones out there. Otherwise, you're going to have to just cut out the whole flange and replace it with a coupling down in the crawl space if you can. It just makes for a lot bigger job if that's the case, and you may end up wanting to call a plumber. Here I am just cleaning up the flange, making sure it's all smooth, and then I'll replace the mounting hardware with some new brass bolts. I like to bolt them down to the flange. Some kits only come with one set of bolts, so you can't do that, and you'll have to use like a little nylon washer. Here I am lining up the flange bolts, so you're just going to want to measure from the baseboard to the center of the flange and then set your bolts at that same location. I like to secure them so that they don't move around when I'm going to set the toilet, and then you're going to want to reach for your new wax ring and get ready to set it.
Wax rings with horns are for rookies.
Yeah, I don't really know that it makes a difference. Sleeve, no sleeve, horn, no horn. I just put in whatever Odie sends me because they send a little truck kit every quarter for the ambassadors.
Hey boy, back in my day, Odie didn't have any capacitors. We just had to pay for our stuff, like real men.
Alright, moving on to the supply line. You're going to always want to replace that old supply line when you disconnect it. The rubber gasket inside is going to have a memory of where it was connected before, and so a lot of times when you go back to tighten it, it's going to leak. So we just go ahead and grab a brand new one and tighten it up. And now we're going to set our toilet. Make sure you don't rock it back and forth. You want to set it straight down and then try to avoid moving it as much as possible before you get these bolts down. And that's really vital if you're using a wax ring. At this point, you're going to want to check with a shim to see if it fits in any places. And if it does, go ahead and shove it in there. We're going to cut off the excess bolt with a bolt cutter, which a lot of people frown upon. But remember, we double bolted that bolt. So when you go to unspin the top nut, that bottom nut is going to keep the bolt from spinning, and it's probably going to be really easy to just take it off like I did before. And we're also going to caulk the base, which is another controversial topic apparently. But remember, we're dealing with a slab foundation. So if this toilet leaks, it's leaking into concrete. It's not going to rot anything out. Thank you for watching my video.